Hi, welcome to another episode of Middle Class Mindset. My name is Starsky Inspires, and in these episodes, we always talk about the things that help you to see your worth and help you stick to your plan. All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about the reasons, the main reasons why some seem to sprint ahead and others seem to be staggered. If you're at a point in your life right now where you're thinking like, why can't I get traction? Why can't my wings open up and I can just go into the soar? We're going to address that in this topic that I'm talking about today, which is this is the reason. This is the main reasons why some seem to have one result and another seem to have another result. Now, I want to preface that the reasons are not based upon what many of us may think that somebody has a little more edge here or there. And those statements can be true. You could be born into the right family. You could be born with somebody who prepared the way for you, that gave you those type of edges. But the reasons that I'm going to address puts everything on a level playing field in terms of understanding that when you know it's you against you, that when you're running in your lane, there's a different type of accountability and mindset you need to have now to really understand how to get ahead. So I want to always put out things that encourage you, things that inspire you, because we are living in a time right now where we're going to see the next millionaires, the next innovators, the next new and up and coming technologies. We're going to see all of that in this generation. And I know within my heart that that statement is talking about me and it's talking about you. So whatever I can do to get your feet moving in the direction of what's in your heart, I am doing my job. So we're going to be talking about the main reasons why some seem to take off and others seem to get left behind. And my mindset right now is like, I don't want to leave no man, no woman behind, So let's get into it. When we're thinking about moving forward, you need to understand that a lot of information that's out there is correct information in some parts, but they are pandering to the masses, and they take a complex subject and make it even more confusing. It's like you hear statements like, you're not going to outwork me, or the statement is, if you first, you last. It's so many statements where they're pandering to the masses, trying to motivate the masses to go out and achieve their best. But when we break it down to a individual conversation, you need to understand it's way more simple than that. It's way more simple than that, because nobody can beat you being you. Let's get that understood first. Can't nobody beat me being me. Many times shooting these videos, I would see other people's videos and I would see how their videos are taking off and different things. And it's tempting to try to model your things after those videos because you want to get the same result they want to get. But I push back individually because I want you to get to know Starsky. I want you to get to know me. And if I'm vibing with you right now, then I'm the one that you should be listening to. But I got to be authentically me so that you can find me, so that you can recognize me from others, right? So I am my own brand. All right. So the simple explanation for this, to understand the reason why some take off and some are left behind, is you need to understand there's 80% of people doing one thing, and there's 10% of people doing another thing. And this crosses all lines, whether you want to talk about fitness, whether you want to talk about work ethic, whether you want to talk about finances, whether you want to talk about education, whether you want to talk about gifts and arts and what you can, over every single spectrum, the people who are the cream that rise to the top, 80% of people are not doing what they're doing, are not doing what they're doing. Even if somebody you knew had the capability of getting you in front of certain people, getting you access to certain things, you still have got to bring something to the table. Even though that person gave you a leg up, you're still, and if you're doing what 80% of people doing, no matter who gives you a leg up, they're still gonna recognize you as subpar because you're doing what 80% of people doing. And it's the 80% of people that shows that this is why many people get staggered and they don't move forward. Let's get into it. The first one, 80% of people in many things that they do are so distracted. They are distracted. They can't keep their mind focused enough to finish a task. They start something, they get excited about it, then they get bored after a few days or whatever, after a little time has gone by, they get bored and they want to move on to something else. Distracted people are not finishers. Now, we may call it procrastination. We may call it procrastination. We may call it other names, but it's just a symptom of a person just being distracted. 80% of people, it's like nails on the chalkboard for you to sit and just simply concentrate on the task at hand. On the task at hand. Now, I'm going to prove what I'm saying to you. This is what 80% of people do. They are so distracted. The reason why you can't keep money is because you're distracted. Okay, what distracted you? Consumerism. That thirst for that new thing that you don't need, that new purchase that you got two of at home. All of those things are just symptoms of a person being distracted. And this is the reason why, if you are trapped in that consumer hypnosis, this is the reason why your money don't take off and somebody else's money is stacking, man. They have many testimonies of, I'm stacking, I saved this amount of money in this amount of time. And you wonder, like, how in the world could this person do that? And they're working the same kinds of jobs I'm working. It's because you are on the 80% of people's side who are distracted in that area. And if you would take a look at your life and take an honest look, you will see that that is fact. If you get excited about Black Friday or after Christmas or New Year's sale or Cyber Mondays, when you already have plenty of what you need, you're distracted. Distraction is a main reason why many people have not quite got those wings off the ground. Okay, the next one. 80% of people all around the world, when it comes to their lifestyle, when it comes to their habits, when it comes to their routine, they're very loose. They're very loose. If you understand efficiency, if you understand something done with excellence, if you understand highly developed habits, you will understand that to be considered loose is a very negative thing. Very negative thing. Not to be degrading or berating, but when you think of a woman who is loose, is it a good thing or is it a negative connotation to be considered loose? But 80% of people are very loose with one main thing, not just your habits, not just your routine, not just your lifestyle, but your time. They're very loosey-goosey with their time because they don't realize, that to be too loose with your time is to simply just be wasting. And if you are wasting time, there's no way you can ever get that plane off the ground. It's time is a very mathematical, calculated thing in some areas. If you don't want to miss opportunities, you got to make sure you prepare for the opportunity that's coming. So, are you loose with the things in your life? Are you distracted in your life right now? Don't get me wrong. I'm going to give you the answer to how to jump over there to the 10%. Just hang on with me. Number 4, 80% of people all around the world deal with life only many times on an external level. I want you to vibe with me on it. On an external level, you wear your feelings on your shoulder. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You know, your emotions are touched by every single thing. You know, you're tossed and driven by every trend and fad. Why? Because you are external. Everything about you is a outside persona, how people perceive me on the outside. And if you stay in that external place, it's very difficult for you to move out of the 80% because the wind of tragedy and the wind of opportunity falls on the 80 and the 10%. It blows on us all. This is a great quote by Jim Rohn. It falls on us all. So you can't think, how most 80% people think, when something happened, oh, why me? Oh, that's not fair. See, those are external things. External things. When things that happen in politics, which can be serious things, or things that happen in your neighborhood, which is serious things, if you're only dealing with it with external feelings and thoughts and those type of things, it's hard to break out of this cycle. You're external. You're too outwardly driven, and you cannot really capitalize on your purpose, on your plan when you have your feelings on your shoulder. You're easily moved, you're easily rattled, you're reacting instead of responding. External. Are you vibing what I'm saying? I'm giving you a description as the reason why some takes off and some seem to be staggered and held back for many years of your life. And you're wondering, maybe it's because I wasn't born to this family, or maybe it's because I didn't get into this opportunity, or maybe it's because I need to try to win this game or try to do some shortcut. All of that lets me know that you don't get it just yet. So it's my job to try to help you. Okay, last one, and we're going to move over to the next side. 80% of people are stagnant because they spend most of their time thinking. Thinking. Thinking is a great quality. I am a firm believer in critical thinking, in a person going inside and bringing out great creative acts and different things like that. I love that process. And that's the only thing that I push back on when it comes to artificial intelligence. I never want to lose my ability to come up with a thought on my own. I never want to lose it. I don't want something to make it too easy for me where I lose that unction to think for myself. But what if you are thinking too much? Have you ever come across a great idea, a great opportunity, a great situation that you knew that, man, I need to spring forward, I need to get there, I need to do it. All the dots are lining up, all the ducks are in a row. It makes sense, when you put it down on paper, all the numbers match. I mean, it's like you thinking about all of this. You've been thinking about it for a while. You've been thinking. Just the simple fact that you are stuck in that mantra, you are bound to the 80% results, which is you're not getting into that soar. You're not getting those wings completely out to fly to what your next level. So I'm using this illustration so that I can softly get this wisdom key to you, so you can really pinpoint on your own the reasons why you haven't shifted over to the 10%. Because those of us who are in the 80%, it ebbs and flows in different places. There'll be certain places in your life where you're not distracted, you're just loose. Do you understand? You're just loose. There are some times in your life where you're not distracted, you're not loose, but you may have experienced like a trauma in your family or something where you're just sensitive right now, and your head is cloudy just for the simple fact that you're externally sensitive right now. You are emotionally off balance, right? Those things happen. It's not saying that the 80% of people are the lower bottom half, poor, disgraced people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the 80% of these people are trying to make something more of their life. They're happy with the achievements that they have done thus far, but you're longing for what's next. And what my job is, I'm trying to inspire you for what's next. And if you're going to get to that what next, that little 10% kind of thing, it's going to take a different mindset, but it's a simple mindset. It's a simple mindset. Simple. You ready to get into it? Okay. All right. 10% of the people who achieve more than the 80% of people, number one, are focused. Are focused. Have you ever met a person who was a composer, or a person who was a painter, or a person who was a athlete, or a person who was a musician, a person who was a singer, a person who was a businessman, a person who was a regular worker? If you met any high productive, high reacting person, there is a strong element of focus. Strong element. I'm not saying that they're completely focused in all areas in terms of being very militant, but I'm saying when you tip the scales of distracted and focused, they tend to be more focused. Okay? And it is the focus that is giving them the leverage, the little quicker step than most people who are in the 80%. Because whatever you focus on, whatever you measure, gets improved. If I put focus on anything, if I wake up in the morning and my focus is to leave at a certain time, and in order for me to leave at that certain time, I got to make the bed, I got to do my hygiene, I got to get my clothes, I got to get my house set up, I got to get breakfast, I got to get all that. Takes a focus to know how much time you need to spend on each task so that you can get out of the house at this particular time so that you can make your destination when you planned on make it. That takes focused. You can't have that type of result when you need to be at a certain place at a certain time, and you think, well, let me stop and kind of grab me a coffee. I can be a couple of minutes late. It's okay. See, that's let me know. See, now you're distracted. The coffee has distracted your focus. The coffee becomes more important to you than you doing what you said you was going to do. This is a cycle of people that happens all the time, and we don't take it seriously. We don't look at it like it's stealing something for us, because we thinking, I mean, what's a few minutes late? I mean, okay, we get that feeling. Okay, you see where I'm going? The next one, they are very tight. They are very tight. Have you ever met frugal people, minimalist people, organic people, um, people who are called workaholics, or people who are just simply goal oriented? You hear those tones? These people are tight when it comes to their life. A person who is an athlete, right? Let's take that. A person who is an athlete can go out with a group of people. And because that athlete is after a certain result in their body, in their physical makeup, they're after some personal best, they're after some goals, they want to achieve some things at a certain time. The large group of people can eat one thing, but I guarantee you that athlete, if they are tight and if they are focused, they are eating a whole nother different thing. They do not play any games when it comes to that particular point in their life, because they got to be tight. Because if you're not tight with certain areas in your life, all of a sudden things will begin to penetrate in that only slows you down. When you're trying to go after weight loss, when you're trying to go after saving money, when you're trying to go after being promoted on the job, when you go after trying to start a business, when you go after trying to plan for a vacation, you if you're not tight with it, serious with it, very very sober with it, very strict with it. And when you allow it to get loose, then you realize it's just holding up your timeline. So the reason why this 10% begins to take off faster than you, because they're more strict, they're more tight. They got to be if you're going to reach your goal. Because when you are a very strict and tight person, you understand that you don't have no time to waste. You don't have no time. See, what I'm stirring up in you is that person inside of you that's yelling to come out, but I want you to be able to see how you can come out. All right. Number 3, instead of being external, they are internal. They play the internal game. Instead of blaming somebody, they take accountability. Instead of depending on somebody to be there to pat you on the back, to give you your attaboys, to tell you good job, to be the type of person that solely relies on a support system, not saying that you don't need one, but totally rely on them, they go internal. They think, okay, what if the people don't show up? I mean, let me give you a prime example. You look at David Goggins, the man who wrote this book called You Can't Hurt Me. He's obviously an internal guy. Don't get me wrong, he has things about him that's external. It's internal doesn't mean that it's the totality of who you are. It means just whatever that has prominence or priority in a certain space in your life so that you can achieve what you're trying to achieve. Now, he is a very internal dude. He's been through a lot. So what he says to himself matters more than what somebody else says about him. What he thinks about himself is more prominent than what somebody else thinks about him. You know what I'm saying? See, that's the internal game. And when you allow yourself to go internal, that means that you're not shutting everybody completely out. You're not saying that I don't need anybody, and if you're not supporting my goals, if you're not with me on the road, you're just a hater. You just come on, man. It's like, see, now that's just external childishness, man. Come on. When people disagree with you, that doesn't mean that they're a hater. That means that you see a vision that they don't see. And how can you get a blind person to see what you're seeing? They don't see it. So don't write them off as a hater. Just say, hey, I just got to go a little further without you, and maybe I'll re-up with you a lot later. That's an internal game. The last one, instead of thinking, the 10%, the mighty 10%, the productivity, the highly effective people are doers. Doers. They move quickly. They only give thinking a certain amount of time. If you met a lot of business owners, CEOs across the board, you can across the board, you would hear people say, how in the world is this person a CEO? This person is not even smart. They don't even seem educated. They don't even have this, they don't have that. It's like I'm smarter than this person, but this person is the CEO because that person is a doer. A doer. They think about what they're going to do and they just go do it. Even though they don't have, in between thinking and doing, they don't have all the materials, they don't have all the whole layout, everything figured out, but that they don't let that stop them from going to do. Many people who are stuck in a rut are spending most of their time thinking, figuring out. Then you go to somebody else because you want them to be a sounding board and you talking to them and you consider talking as doing. It's like, no, they're still in the area of thinking, because doing is doing and thinking is thinking. So when I'm on my job and when I clock into my job, I shift from thinking about what's going to happen at work to now doing work. Two different things. I'm still thinking, but one has taken priority over another. When I start out my day, I'm thinking about how to calculate my day so it runs smoothly. But when I clock in, now I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? You follow me? You follow? See, this stuff we have been doing, but many of you listen to me have not even been conscious of this. You haven't been aware that you have been doing this all along. But what I want to do is put it in a framework so you when you're getting too loose in your habits, you can catch yourself quick. Okay, when you get distracted and you're got this credit card and you finna spend money that you don't have, and you know in your heart that that's not a good plan, you can catch yourself. Or if all of a sudden certain people that you used to hang out with are not vibing with you anymore, they kind of want to go in a different direction. You don't get your feelings hurt and be that kind of person. You just understand that this is just a season where we don't walk together. You stay internal. You like you more than somebody else like you. And then when it comes to thinking, you quickly catch yourself when you have a great idea to do something creatively big, to make a move you never make. Yes, count up the cost, do your research, do your due diligence. But when you hit that point, when you realize that I just need to hit play, when I'm shooting these videos, it took a while for me to get to this place where I can just stand behind the camera and I can talk as if you're there. I just had to hit play. So I was fumbling, the movie was grainy, all that kind of stuff like that. But when I started doing, over time, I started progressively getting better and better and better, and I came up with more ideas and different things. That's just how it works. This is the reason why one person is stagnant and the other takes off. You see what I'm saying? You flowing with me? See, man, that should make a lot of you out there just happy, man, because it's not about, this person just got a luck of the draw. Like one famous social media guy, Mr. Beast, everybody vibes with him, and another guy. But it's like everybody vibes, but they don't realize Mr. Beast still had to go through this same process. When he was creating his brand, when he was creating everything that he was doing, he still had to go through this process to get over to that 10% side where you're doing focused work, you have a tight schedule, you're internal, you're taking criticism, you're taking it with a grain of salt or sugar or however you take it, but you're not taking it personal where it stagnates you or stops you, and you're not just thinking about it, you're doing it. You're getting things done day by day, little by little, until you build a brand like he has, But this is the process that you go. Simple, easy peasy. I have cleared up a lot of things that you can read in the book that people just embellish so much that they don't even get to this type of stuff. I just want to come right to the gate and say, hey, listen, this is what you do. If you want to get your life going and you want to listen to anybody that you listen to, look at where they're taking you. Are they taking you, take a screenshot of this right here, and keep it for your records. Maybe it'll help you in where you're going now. Hey, my name is Starsky Inspires. Hey, I hope that I help, to inspire you to, hey, get going. Remember, the new millionaires, the innovators, man, the new creators are going to come out in our generation. And I am one and you are one too. So, hey, until next time, hey, check me out, man. Be coming with more stuff like this. See you later.